Sophie, how you doing?
I'm alright, thank you.
Thanks for getting the video on.
So I understand that you're the Disability Football's Development Officer for the FA.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of wondering what your job would entail on a day-to-day basis, first of all.
Yeah, no worries. So my role is basically, so each county FA will have a Disability Football Development Officer, and that's basically to set up, so it's basically working with all football to make football more inclusive.
Yeah.
So that can be mainstream clubs, making them more inclusive, or it might be a case of setting up impairment specific that maybe suits that player better.
Yeah.
Or they get more enjoyment out of it. But it's basically just making football more accessible for everybody of all abilities.
Do you think it's important, obviously, to provide this like equal opportunity for disabled people to engage in sport?
Yeah, definitely. It's like, I think everybody, it's probably like the country's biggest sport. Everybody wants to play it. It's one of the things that should be open to everybody. It doesn't matter if you've got a disability or if you come from a certain ethnic group. Everybody should get the same opportunity to play football in this country. Yeah. That's what we're trying to do through our roles. And it's kind of giving people disability a voice and listening to why they're not maybe more participation, why is there not more people with disabilities. So it's listening to them and saying that maybe we need to change how we do things.
I think that the visibility as well will encourage a lot of people to get involved, because I think that's what holds people back. Also with like minority groups, I think the lack of representation kind of deters people. So it's good that like it's all on your website and you can see all like how it's changing people's lives and stuff like that, which is really good.
Yeah, definitely. One thing we're planning to do, could be something that yourselves could help us promote as well, is we're looking at getting a disability focus group that'll just look at football in the capital. Basically just listen to people. A lot of times organisations just like rolling with stuff and don't actually listen to the people who maybe want to get involved in football. Why are they not getting involved? So we're going to set up that group, and that's going to be made up of, it can be made up of anybody, made up of players, parents, guardians, a wide range, just basically anybody. So it could be down to supporters, maybe people feeling comfortable coming along to grassroots football and watching it.
Yeah, that's good. That should be really good. Just get people's opinions out and like see how you can change things to better suit people. So what barriers do you think that disabled people continue to face when trying to engage in sports, would you say?
Yes. So yeah, probably in the wider sport, I'd say it's probably maybe coach education. I've been kind of involved in disability football stroke sport for the last maybe 15 years.
Yeah.
So when I started on that journey, I wasn't as confident. So it's kind of giving coaches that confidence to look at a player who just comes to your club that wants to play football, and look at what they can do, rather than, oh well, that disability is going to stop them doing stuff. And it's no difference than the other coaching. You're just looking at your session. You're looking at how each player within that session, and every coach does that within the session. So it's no different. It's just removing that kind of barrier that, oh, somebody's got a disability, I've got to treat them different.
Yeah, just kind of getting rid of like the prejudice. Like just
that's it.
focusing on the positives first.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people we deal with, we do like some awareness training, and the big thing we see after maybe half an hour, the barriers come down straight away, and that's just by chatting to other people and getting confident. A lot of people are scared of the language as well, so they're scared of oh, I'm going to say the wrong thing. But a lot of times people with disabilities don't mind asking, or they'd rather that than you just not dealing with the issue at all. So I think it's just giving people confidence, but that's across inclusion in general, like is giving people confidence to talk about it.
I think by doing that, you definitely like with like-minded people and engaging like comfortably and feeling safe and like respected is like key for disabled people to get involved, as with any people really.
Yeah, no, one thing I'd say probably barriers as well maybe is that friendly face, because maybe they've had bad experiences in the past. Just getting them into the club and making them feel part of the club. That's probably once you do that for the individual, they'll probably stay for forever. And once you do that with a parent, but that's the same across any sport.
Yeah, definitely.
In any aspect of sport, it's making people feel comfortable.
With like disabled athletes, do you think there's still like kind of stigmatic kind of prejudice mindsets around them even now, like, or would you say it's improved a lot?
I think it has improved. I think we've come a long way from, and it's not that long ago that people were institutionalized. No, that's people think, oh, that was long ago. It wasn't that long ago. So we've come a long way since that, but I think it's there needs to be still a lot of work done around it.
Yeah.
I think it's awareness. It's a kind of respect. It's getting to know the disabilities. It's not putting everybody in the same. It's kind of getting to know the different individual disabilities and how we can support them.
Grouping it.
Yeah, and I think communication is a big thing. Where in the past people like set up sessions and maybe people who are deaf or visually impaired don't come to them sessions. And people are like, oh, well, I've set that up and nobody came to it. But it's maybe speaking to them communities and saying what's the best way to communicate.
Yeah.
And going through the right channels, because a lot of times maybe stuff that's been put out there isn't being picked up by parents or young people.
I think that there's still like a problem with generalisation as well. So yeah, there's obviously very different ways that you need to approach people with different disabilities, and it's good that you're like trying to figure that out beforehand instead of just trying to like one size fits all it, which it doesn't always.
That's it. Yeah. I think we all say to coaches to speak to the people who know the parents or brothers or sisters or siblings.
Yeah.
Speaking to the people who know them the best and getting the experience off them. Like as coaches, we're not going to know everything about disabilities, but it's having that
just like the willingness to learn is good. Like
that's it, exactly what you said there. Will to learn. Sorry, that is the big. As long as you got that, people with disabilities will respect you.
And with like obviously the London FA puts a lot of effort into making people feel represented and included in football, and like you have the Rainbow Laces campaign and various disability sport leagues. It's already good. So I was kind of wondering, without that vital work, what sort of place do you think we'd be in with disability sport?
Yeah, I think we do a lot of good work. The FA do a lot of good work. But I think it's us linking up with other organisations, because a lot of the other grassroots organisations and community groups do fantastic work. It's getting that joined up and seeing how we can support them as a county FA or a national governing body. But there's good stuff happening out there across London. I think it probably would be worrying if unfortunately you probably need roles like myself and other kind of disability roles within sport, because I think you need people banging on the drum. You need people kind of supporting people with disabilities, and giving them a voice, because I think it'd be great if our jobs went out of fashion and we didn't need us. It'd be fantastic if we didn't need disability officers, which hopefully one day we will get to that. But yeah, unfortunately it probably does need that kind of banging on doors and making them discuss. It all comes down to that discussion. People don't want to make that discussion. It's kind of having them discussions, them uncomfortable discussions for some people.
I mean, well, I saw that there was like a disability awareness workshop that is run on the site. I was just wondering how that works.
Yeah, so that's a full day course. At the minute, it's kind of on demand. We don't kind of set up 3 or 4 in a year. We kind of work with, say, partners or affiliated clubs or leagues, and if there's a demand for that, we'll go out and deliver it for them. It's kind of consists of looking at maybe 3-4 hours of, actually a bit less probably, of the theory side. It looks at the pathways, so the disability football pathways. It looks at the different disabilities, how that's adapted within football, and then it goes to the practical side. So later on in the afternoon, you go onto the pitch and you kind of look at real life scenarios. A lot of times you might work with a disability team. You're kind of thrown in a deep end. The thing that we find about that is coaches straight away just get into their coaching and just coach it like any other session, but they're kind of learning on the job. I think that's a big thing I'd say to people. If you're interested in disability sport, just get down to a local club, volunteer. I think you'll learn more by doing that. Definitely. And speaking to the players and the parents, you'll learn more. Obviously, the course is really good as well, but it's getting that experience working with people with disabilities helps.
How's the COVID-19 pandemic affected the work that you're able to do?
Yeah, well, I don't know if you know, we've got a couple of disability leagues in London. So you've got all the counties, so Middlesex FA, I'll have an officer like myself. You've got Surrey FA, all the other counties, Essex, Kent. They all kind of come into London a bit as well and do work. But yeah, there is disability leagues out there, so all the leagues have stopped currently. We're looking at probably getting them up and running later in the year. So we're probably looking at maybe doing some festivals in September, October time, with the hope of maybe starting maybe January time, kind of more structured leagues. But it's a difficult time because you're working with people with underlying health conditions. You're working with parents maybe have a fear.
There'll be a lot of caution, I think.
That's it. Yeah, it's public transport. It's getting to venues. There is a lot of caution out there, but I think when I met with the leagues last week, the first thing they said, our players just want to play football again. We just want to get back on the pitch. So it's doing the right things, to putting the things in place. But once that's done, I think it'll get going. But yeah, it's uncertain times, unfortunately, for the league.
Yeah, with everything, I guess. But hopefully, if it gets introduced the right way and people see, there's obviously a keen interest to like get back.
Yeah. So at the minute we've got I can share it with you. We've got like a one-page summary, basically that we've given to leagues, officials, volunteers, parents, carers, and it basically just breaks it down into 3. So before the activity, during the training or a match, and then after activity, and that's kind of good for clubs because they can kind of have a look at that one page and just say, oh, this is what I need in place, to make sure the session's safe.
Easily digestible information.
It is, it's a good document. But the main things are like a COVID-19 officer. The clubs and leagues have to set up. They've got to get their COVID-19 risk assessment done, and then it's just other stuff like hygiene and stuff within the session that they need to follow. Yeah.
Sort of to end on things, I was just kind of wondering if you have what advice you might have for like a disabled either athlete or someone who's just really interested in getting involved in fitness, who might feel a little bit held back because of their disability or a little bit anxious.
Yeah, I think just get involved. Just get contact one of the county FA officers. Also football. If going back to kind of football, if it's football, speak to the Football Foundation Trust. So like the community trusts. So in London, we've got so many. We've got QPR, Chelsea, Fulham. All the football foundations, community departments do fantastic work, and they run loads of disability provision. That could be your first start. I think as well as maybe go with somebody to a club if you don't want to do impairment specific, maybe go with somebody you trust and somebody and meet with the club and kind of discuss what they have on offer. But yeah, a lot of clubs are getting better, and they are a bit more inclusive. My job is get out there. There's loads of opportunities. Doesn't matter what your impairment is. Football for a bit out there at the minute. But yeah, happy if people get in contact with yourself, put them in touch with me. I'm happy to put them in the right place.
That's great.
But I'd be if a person with disability, I'd be really optimistic because there's loads of stuff out there. It's just getting it out to parents and getting it to the people involved.
Yeah, I think the benefits of like sports like football is just so great for like mental well-being and everything like that as well. Physical advantages. That'd be a shame to have that. So it's good that the opportunities are there and like encouraged so much.
Yeah, we speak to a lot of parents that kids with disability who have been out of school for the last 4 or 5.
Yeah, of course.
So that's been really tough for kids with disabilities because they've lost that routine. So sports, good routine as well. So a lot of parents are keen just to get back into a weekly, even sports session. So kids are getting into a routine. They've got something to look forward to at the end of the week. It kind of breaks up the week, and they can kind of plan the week a bit better. So I think sport's really good. So I'd say the parents get involved in the clubs. A lot of clubs are starting back up now in September. So yeah, get involved in them. It's great there's loads of opportunities.
I think the one good thing that's come out of this whole pandemic is it's made people realize how much time they're spending indoors and what a lack of a routine can do to you. So everyone I know is trying a new sport or trying to get fit again. So I guess that's the silver lining, I suppose. It's bringing people back.
I think it's stopped even people who are working as well. It stopped people and said, well, get out and you've got time now because you don't have to travel to work, or maybe things have happened where you maybe have less days working. So people are kind of thinking what they need to do, and then they're seeing the importance of when I do play sport, their mental health improving. So yeah, it's really important. Sport's really important at any level, just to get involved and be part of the team.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you very much for speaking to me today, and I really appreciate it.
No problem.
I hope best of luck getting the football back out there.
I think there's some great. There's some really great volunteers out there. So the South London Special League and the North London Special League, and also the South London Grassroots Football League. some really good volunteers, some really good clubs out there. So it is promising. And they're the volunteers are the people who will get this back up and running again.
It'll be great when everyone can just get out and engage again. So okay, well thank you again.
No worries.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
Have a good day. Thanks for the call.
That's all right. Bye.